Our next movie this week is Pay It Forward, the 2000 film, Pay It Forward. I picked this movie because I remember watching it in high school way back in the day. I think it was like freshman year or something. Doesn't really matter. This movie made an impression on me because back then I actually really liked the message of Pay It Forward, and I also wasn't super familiar with movie ranking stuff. I know this movie is kind of lambasted about being like incredibly melodramatic and formulaic and manipulative to try to get people to like vote for it for the Emmys or some shit.
Which it is to some degree, you know.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I still enjoyed this movie, and I am glad I picked it. You know, I think it's cute. Let me get into the plot synopsis here. So we've got a kid who I forgot all the names of every single character per usual, but we've got
Trevor.
Kid, and we have his whore mom, who's not actually a whore, but she works at some nefarious places, like being a waitress in Las Vegas or something. And he's got a teacher who's got like some fucking burn scars on him, and he is trying to get his kids in fucking 7th grade of middle school to think of an idea of changing the world in some way for like an extra credit assignment. And our main character kid comes up with the idea of paying it forward, which is basically you do 3 good things for 3 random people, or you do 1 good thing for 3 random people, and then they have to continue the chain of paying it forward by doing 3 good things to 3 different people as well. And then it just goes ad nauseum, basically. It's like a ploy to fix the world or something, as everyone does good things for each other. And we see people doing good things for each other. There's like a reporter line where he's trying to basically get to the source of the pay it forward shtick, and he eventually does. He meets the kid. There's also like some drama about the mom and her ex-husband, and also the teacher starts getting with the mom because that's one of the good things the kid tries to do, is try to get his mom hooked up with somebody that's not gonna fucking beat her. Fun times. Of course, it all accumulates with the kid thinking he wants to do good for the kid he saw getting bullied previously earlier in the film. So he tries to stand up for that kid, and he gets fucking shanked in the school and dies. And then there's like some like sad scene where the whole town is like lighting fire or something, you know, torches or something. I don't know how to say it, but like they got like lights outside their house. Yeah, candles. I couldn't think of the fucking word. I don't know why I couldn't think of candles. And that's basically the movie. I don't know why the kid fucking dies.
Yeah, I will say, I'm gonna jump right... Oh, haiku time, sorry, you're right.
A trailer trash kid. A man burned inside and out. Oh my god, a knife!
Yeah, I don't have a ton of, like, huge things to say about this movie. I love the message. I thought it was adorable.
I have one huge and important thing to say about this movie, though. Guys, do you remember how Trevor owns an N64 in this movie?
Did you figure out what game it's in?
I managed to track down what game was in that N64. It was, in fact, Ocarina of Time.
What a gamer.
Right?
No wonder his mom hates him.
Whoa.
I think it would have been much more on brand if it were like Bubsy 3D or something like that. That would make a lot more sense for like a trailer trash people to have.
Anyway, the only major thing that I have about this movie is the ending. I didn't like the ending. I thought it would have made more sense another way. Like, I get it. Like, it's a whole martyr situation where this kid died for the message and the gift he was trying to give the world. So he, in his final act of do-gooding and righteousness, he helped the kid he failed to help last time and ended up dying for it, which, by the way, I don't think you can die from an abdominal stab wound to that.
Of course you can.
Well, yeah, you definitely can.
Not that way. I was like, there's no way he's dying from this. It doesn't look... Anyway, regardless, outside of...
What is bro waffling about?
Anyway,
what is bro on about?
Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna get on with the rest of my thought. I think... in the true sense, like the true nature of this movie, what would have made more sense is if somehow by like some crazy like coincidence, some kind of deed that happened because of his chain came back and ended up saving his life. I think that would have been a far more poetic way to end the movie. I think the way that they decided to end it still made sense, but I think it was very jarring and I don't know. I just didn't like it very much.
The paid for movie didn't need a fucking murder.
Yeah, basically that.
I definitely do like Dylan's idea of like how to save him in the end, but at the same time I do feel as though it would conflict with its overall message, you know, of like not trusting Mexicans.
Yeah, I like the idea of, I think they're maybe trying to say that there's like risk involved in these types of things, but also that's stupid and very heavy-handed and it's dumb. And I think it is a worse movie because of the ending.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Risk doesn't have to take the form of physical harm, though. Risk can be a mental or emotional battle, not whatever they try to do at the end there.
He should have been gifted a physical board game of Risk, and then he goes, "Oh no, the Risk!"
Ooh. I'd say the main thing this movie does really well is acting. All of the acting is really good in this movie.
They're so great.
I'll agree
Holy
with that.
shit, Haley Joel Osment is so good at acting for a fucking 13-year-old or whatever he is.
Which is why I will never stop lambasting the children in these films that we review for being shitty actors. Fuck
Yeah,
you, FNAF
yeah.
movie. That little girl was terrible. Stop just hiring child actors because they're adorable. Hire them for being skilled.
Yeah, don't you see? There was once one good child actor. That means that we can hold all of them to that same standard.
We've watched other movies with good child actors.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Jumanji?
Yeah. I don't know. I think one concept that was a little late on me in this movie was, and I mean, I guess it makes sense because you wouldn't have known it until later on in the movie, is that the beginning was running parallel with like the middle of the movie, where you know this reporter guy is trying to find out why this random guy gave him his new Jaguar. He's like, "Oh, pay it forward," and he starts tracing the story. But it turns out the old lady he was originally tasked to find, given the story, was in fact the kid's grandma. But that also means that it happened in recent times. So, like, the beginning and the middle were running side by side, and it was like a time thing we didn't see initially. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, as we said from the onset here, this movie is very melodramatic for the most part. And, I don't know, parts of this movie kind of just feel like they're just trying to kind of speed run traumatizing people, okay? I feel like we can just, like, you know, we don't have to just cram all this shit in here, alright? We can give these other moments a little more time to, like, you know, breathe and just kind of explore a bit more. And one of the parts that, like, really exemplifies this for me is when Trevor's father comes back in the picture, okay? Bon Jovi, he returns.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he basically what happens is he comes back, it's like, "Hey, daddy's home," and then woman goes, talks with a fucking teacher guy, comes back, and it's like, "Oh, he's abusive again, oh no." But, like, I feel like we really should have had, like, a few more scenes with the dad, just to kind of, like, show, like, maybe, like, his slow, like, deterioration going back into his old ways, you know? Where it's like, I don't know, maybe, like, he's so stressed looking for a job, he turns back to the bottle or something like that. Just something to not make it just, like, immediately like, "Oh no, I fucked up, oops, I guess the teacher was right."
Yeah, that was a very 180 thing to happen. I thought that was rather strange, but me being me, I paid no mind to it.
And also the big reveal with, like, the teacher's, you know, the origins behind his burns. It just felt a little overboard.
Yeah, that was a little gruesome. I was like, there's no way any person in their right mind would ever do this to their own child, I don't think.
Oh, it 100% does happen. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know.
It's a
they
lot.
could have gone with something less intense, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't very digestible for this film.
Jason, what were you going to say? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, I was going to say, I think melodrama as a genre is totally fine in some instances, but I think this movie definitely takes it a little too far. Mostly just because a lot of it is really forced, which is kind of going into what Nico was saying about, like, the dad, for example. They talked about the dad thing, and then they had to basically use him as an example to make the woman kind of realize things. And it was all very forced. They had, like, the scene of her just appearing in the fucking parking lot was very forced because I think they just didn't know really how to, like, set that up. And there's a lot of things like that in this movie where you're kind of just, like, jumping from scene to scene to, like, get some traumatizing shit, forcing it all to happen because they don't really know how to do it in a through line. Honestly, the writing in this movie is kind of dog shit. I think the setup of everything could have been a lot better if it was just paced better.
Yeah.
But it's all happening way too quickly, and they're forcing a lot of things to happen that shouldn't happen at certain parts. Like, the fucking dad, I don't think need to be a part of this movie at all. There's better ways where they could have had the teacher and the wife connect. Also, what the fuck does the teacher even see in this woman in the first place? She's just some fucking dumb broad, like, who immediately abandoned him to go back to her fucking piece of shit husband. What the fuck does he see in her?
So, like, I think that, like, you know, he's like a dude who's like all fucking burned and shit like that. So I assume that's like, well, he has pretty slim pickings, okay? He can't afford to, like, you know, be too selective here. So it's like, well, there's a woman who is interested in me.
Yeah, but
that's all I need, I guess.
But their relationship was so, like, cringy, though. Like, every time they interacted with each other, it was just like, well, especially in the beginning, obviously not towards the end, they just went at each other's throats for, like, no reason. Like, especially the mom. She just fucking attacked him out of nowhere just because he is the way that he is. she's just assuming he's talking the way he is because he's trying to belittle her or something, which is this is a terrible trait to have. Like, don't just attack people because you think they're trying to belittle you or demean.
Yeah, I totally forgot she was a total fucking bitch at the start. I think the teacher was justified as hell for, like, pushing her away at the start when she, like, rushed into his classroom, and then for some reason they, like, flipped it around and made him actually the dickhead for being crass about her, even though she was a total bitch at the start. Another small thing, too, is, I don't know if you guys thought the same thing as me here, but again, this is a small thing. The teacher in his backstory about, like, how he got burned just seems like a completely different character than what we see in the movie a lot of the time. Like, he seems like a fucking uber autist in most of the movie, and then he seems like he's the fucking Chad main character guy in his, like, story about running away from his abusive parent and then, like, trying to, like, get back and help her out. Seems like a very different character, but that's just minor.
I imagine your personality changes a bit if you've been lit on fire.
Potentially.
Yeah, I didn't really view any conflicting, personalities with him. I thought the way he was made sense in my mind.
So, guys, do you have anything else to say about this one?
No.
Nothing important.
Whoa! That's insane. Tanner, do you want to kick off our ratings here, dude?
I'm gonna give Pay It Forward an A.
Whoa, that's a very good rating. Jackson, how about you?
I give it a B+.
Whoa, that's B+ tacular. I'm gonna give it an A-. Dylan, how about you?
I'm also gonna give this movie an A.
Guys, you will not believe what the movie landed at overall.
A-.
Holy shit. You guys got it. Congrats! It is, in fact, an A- tier movie.
The math's not hard, guy.
The math is mathing.
The math is mathing.
Yeah, the melodrama is a little too forced for me to want to rate it any higher than, like, a B-tier movie. I like where they're going for with it, but it needs a good amount of restructuring. It was a pretty messy movie.
But at the same time, like, the fucking reviews that we saw for this movie, people fucking despise this thing, apparently.
They were way too harsh. Everybody, I mean, maybe there's some truth behind what they're talking about with, like, them making this movie just to garner an Emmy or something, because it's, like, just some super sappy, like, change the world bullshit, which, Emmy reviewers go crazy for, but
it's literally,
I think it's being dicks.
In my opinion, it's literally these reporters playing into people being like, all these news people want is for, shows to delve into complete and utter schlocky debauchery. They just want nihilism and sex on screen.
You could say, Tanner, that what they want is violence in movies and sex on TV.
Yeah, I could say that.